I'm editing all my Valkyria Chronicles, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh shit, I'm missing like 6 hours. Where the fuck did it go? And I moved it to a temporary save file without remembering. And I'm looking all over my PC like I really don't want to have to go through this 6 hours again. And I find it. I'm like, oh god, oh, because I still had the audio files, and I was like, whew. Did submissions that I didn't want to do. Also, I'm reading the fucking character profiles every now and again, so that wouldn't have happened. Hilarious thing how easy the YouTube system is to actually work when you're actually doing it. I was like, you know, this is the one time where it actually has a thing, so I'm going to use the covers because it's appropriate. And wouldn't you know, one of the highest viewed videos because of the covers. And it's like, really? Really? Okay, I suppose. I suppose it's that easy. Granted, no watch time because they came for porn, and it's like, there's no porn here? The fuck? I'm assuming, and it's like, oh, well, talking about manga, you know, it's not exactly, I'm not gonna fucking show the panels, otherwise that is literally pirating.
Well, if you're talking about it, it's for use.
Arguably.
Yeah, but I mean, if
I was a larger channel, I would agree with you. If I can destroy currently, that's permanent until I get like 10k viewers.
True.
So I'd rather avoid that. Funny thing, ASCs were originally supposed to have the OST in the background playing at a low volume. I tried that for like 10 of them. Every single one of them got flagged and struck. So, before I even uploaded, I kept trying it again and again, and like, one got through, but 1 out of 11, not really, it's not really gonna fly, so I was like, fuck it, not doing it, it's not worth it. If you want the OST, just put it on yourself. So if you want the true experience, put the OST on, and crank it down like 9 decibels. That's where it was. And it was still getting flagged, so yeah, fun. Anyways, Killing Bites.
Like...
Oh, 11 through 30. Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
11 to 30, yes.
I had to recorrect even though I just skimmed through them for some reason. So, Running. Yeah. Earlier you told me that you weren't exactly the biggest fan of this.
Yeah. No. Not because it's bad. Okay? It's more so because it's really good and really bad. It is both extremes for me. There is no middle ground, and it drives me nuts.
Okay, I'm super curious because I'm going to tell you my opinion of this, which is why I was kind of thinking, like, this might take a while. This is probably one of my favorite things as of the moment. Like,
I could definitely see it.
As of the moment, this is one of my favorite. You know that, because a lot of people say, like, oh, this is one of my favorite things. They're speaking of it in that moment. Because, yeah, in, like, 2 years, this probably isn't going to be my favorite thing. But, like, as of right now, coming off it, it's kind of one of my favorite things right now.
Oh, yeah. No, I can definitely understand that. Again, I understand exactly where you're coming from in that reference. I do. You know? And for me, it is love-hate. It's the same feeling I get. It's weird. It's the only manga that ever made me turn around and scratch my head and says, why do I feel like I'm reading a Mwaha? It's not. Now, the bads are nowhere near as bad as those. Okay? And that's a good thing because Mwaha's is like, it starts off, like, they all start off really good. You have an interesting character. They're intelligent. They're creative. And then it just gets super bland. It's like, I had to beat up this guy who's 2 tiers stronger than me. Wow, this guy's a tier stronger than him. Bow, one-shot him. Now I'm one-shotting the next guy. Now I'm fighting the leader of a sect who's 4 whole, like, sections of power ahead of me. But don't worry, I have someone who owed me a favor is going to show up and one-shot him for me. And it's like, just slow the fuck down. Like, please. So, and it never does.
So what if you're...
really bad, but...
So one of your things last time, one of your points was there isn't enough fighting, and this one was almost literally, like, except for one chapter of Hitomi's backstory, was all fighting. Like,
yeah, no. I like the fighting. Okay, I did.
I thought that was funny that we made that Then we pointed that out, and then this time it's like, nope, all fighting from this point
All
on, except
fighting,
for one backstory.
Yeah.
There might be
Except
like
one
2 chapters
backstory,
if you cut all the pages of talking.
You had that, and then you had all the lesbian, like the half chapter of the lesbian
That
stuff.
was that was brief though.
It was brief, but it still annoyed me because it was like that was so ill-timed. And that's my problem. It's like that was such badly thrown in there. There's no reason to throw it in there. We just
thought it was
had
great.
fan service with the snake. I know you would. I just didn't like it because it just felt so awkward. Again, I don't mind what happened. I mind the timing. It just feels so awkward with the way they did it in the time of which it was put out there, and that bugs me.
Well, I mean, like the big thing about Hitomi and how they like designed Rotel is. She literally, remember the point where she's literally like throwing the snake to the guys? Is like, yeah, go get his body. And she's like, why are you doing that? He tried to kill you and rape you. I don't give a fuck. Just like literally, I don't fucking care. I'll just kill him again if he shows up.
No, I like a lot about the show. I really do. You know, I don't like Hitomi as a character.
We haven't seen the show yet.
Yeah, the manga. I'm sorry. I don't like Hitomi. That was the one scene I liked her in. Was literally that scene. I have not liked her the whole show. She is the worst part of the show, in my opinion. The manga, still, in my opinion.
She's not the main character of the next half.
I know. I was so excited.
It's a fucking beagle, which I am.
I did not read into it. I just saw the girl. You know, and I was like, it's not about Hitomi.
It's so fucking great that Rabbit wins. Because now they get to use her as a poster girl for like, even if you're a cute little hybrid, you can win. And it's like, no, you cannot. You're fodder.
That was purely Cheetah being mentally strained.
That was so. I fucking love Cheetah in that last part where she looks. They give it from Rabbit's perspective, and Cheetah looks so fucking evil. I love it so much. Her faces in almost every shot look so great, especially the first one. She's like, where Rabbit starts running away, and Cheetah's like, really? Really? You're gonna fucking run? You're gonna drag this out even more? Alright, we'll run.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, how did... Because she was literally dodging Gecko, and the reason she was able to move her body, in that... I looked it up. I made sure to look at it. She actually is in air. She's mid-air in a jump, in like a leap, when Rabbit trips. Meaning that she can't actually move to dodge it. So they actually made it make sense, and I was like, holy shit. I thought that was actually an inconsistency. But
no, it was like, she was literally jumping at her, and she threw her feet up when she was jumping. It was like, there wasn't shit she could do. She was like, oh shit. It's like, even like, I think in a battle, like, you kind of see her face makes that oh shit kind of look like her. It was like, like she's
fuck.
So bad.
We're going like 87 miles per hour. This is gonna really hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. So it's like, no, I did like a lot about this. You know, but like it just, again, it ruined the things I didn't like about the show. You know, that just kind of it's the things that break my immersion. Because when I really get into it, it's like I'm really into it. I'm going chapter by chapter. You know, I almost didn't finish a day at work because of it. Because I had to keep taking a break, you know, to read another chapter. You know, and then it like breaks my immersions. You know, like so hard. It's like, I'm good for a couple days now. It just completely just kind of disassociated me from the show mentally. And I'm like, well, I'll continue it a couple days. And then I was like, why did I stop reading? Because I just end up like getting past that part. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. It just kind of kicks me off it. It really does. That's why I said that. 'Cause it just annoys me because it does that to me.
So it's like, because I was able to go from start to finish, and I just binged the entire thing. I loved it. So I'm kind of curious what like broke your. So Savette broke it.
First one was at the beginning. Yeah, Savette broke it. Keto broke it. Never Keto appeared. I just didn't like him. Keto.
Oh yeah, Keto. It's Keto. Yeah.
Yeah.
That annoys me that there's Keto and Cheeto.
Yeah, I did not like him at all, especially knowing the first one he kills was my favorite character, Crocodile. Yeah, literally was my favorite because I did not like him because he was like, Hippo saves him. Like, that was great. Hippo saves him, Tiger Explosion. He's like, are you fucking an idiot? He's like, what? And then he looks, he's like, oh shit, he healed. And then he go back about the healing property. He's like, no, fuck it, I'm killing you now because you keep fucking up my plan. It was like, oh, he had this thought out so much more than we initially
Oh
thought.
yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes where fucking Hippo is sitting there and he's like, he can't actually beat him. Tiger's too strong. There's no way Crocodile could actually beat him.
No,
and
no,
then
no, no,
fucking
he was freaking out because he was like, he's gonna die in the explosion.
and then the next one, but like the next one I'm leading into is, and then Hippo's sitting there immediately is like, and then when he's fighting Crocodile, oh, he meant it. Oh, he was serious about fighting Tiger one-on-one. Oh God. Oh no. I can't beat him. I have to run. That was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they start talking about the hippo again, though, right? And then they start talking about the hippo, and I'm sitting there, I read the hippo, and I'm like, this is the most terrifying thing they've shown me so far. They mentioned everything you mentioned about how to eat fucking jeeps.
Yep.
They kill more things than
really
lions. You know, they mentioned all this stuff. I'm like, this would be by far the most terrifying thing they have mentioned. Why is this the bitch character?
Well, he's technically... The reason he ends up being the bitch character is because he doesn't have the speed of the other, like the straight up agility of the others, and he doesn't have any natural armor apart from his fat. So like, he gets this little hero moment against Pangolin where he knocks him aside. He's like, "Everyone, we have to work together." And then Pangolin goes to challenge him in a strength off, and he's like, "No one can beat a hippo in might." And then Pangolin just stabs him, and he's like, "Oh, didn't think about this."
Yep.
That was
not enough foresight. Not enough foresight.
Oh, that was so fucking good. I love that.
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, the fucking hero turns are so well done. There's that's that and Bear. I didn't think I was gonna get another Bear moment where I started laughing at some dude getting so pumped and then just getting knocked out immediately. But Hippo was like, we can work together. We can do this. Just like, nope. Oh, fuck me.
Immediately gets jobbed. Like, yeah.
And then Tiger just takes the advantage and like, nope, now you're mine. Got an eye. Ha! You took an arm, I took an eye. Equal trade, right? It's like, no.
It's like, it was just weird, like, how, it's like, also another thing that bugged me about him, which is his physical strength just seemed completely outrageous when there was no mention of his strength. Like, they were mentioning his armor and his
They didn't give, like, the Pangolin. I think the Pangolin was a really, really, really good pick for a final enemy. I don't like how they didn't actually mention how he had, like... They didn't mention that a pangolin had super strength or anything. They just mentioned its armor and its shell. That was a bit of a throw-off.
Yeah, that was the issue. It's like, it just kind of like... Yeah, that also just sat there, and like, whenever I'm watching the fight, it's like, it just bugged me. More and more as it went on. It was like, it was such a little thing that kept irking me. I'm like, I'm expecting it any time. Like, okay, they're going to mention it any moment.
And it just never came up, and he's just like, he is strong because he is strong.
Fucking details. Yeah, like he literally just rips his hand through Crocodile's head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just like he's made of paper mache, and it's like, what?
Well, to be fair, Rattel's like...
Oh, I understand. I understand to an extent. But I'm just saying, though, you know what I mean? Like, he shows very impressive feats of just physical prowess.
Yeah, how he's able to beat Crocodile without actually transforming.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, granted, you still have, like, some of your capabilities when you're not transformed.
Yeah, but
like...
You shouldn't be able to, like, take a crocodile's tail, you know, which they said would just shoot through Hippo's fat like he's made of paper mache, you know, and it's stronger than a freaking medieval mace being swung by someone with superhuman strength, you know what I mean, and just blocks it like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Like...
He probably partially transformed his arm when that happened.
Yeah, but
again, the Hippo thing you didn't like.
If they would have showed some scales, you know what I mean? Like, and then you could have, then it would have created a mind game. Like, if you noticed that, like, what type of scaled animal is he now? You know what I mean? Like, it gets you thinking about it. But instead, he just kind of just does it, and they just leave it a complete mystery. I did like what happened after that, though, when Rabbit shows up to save.
Oh yeah, Gorilla.
Gorilla.
And it's like the first scene is so perfect of like smile, hi, we're friendly. Just immediately goes to kill her like, oh shit.
Then he gets super pissed. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, goddammit. I'm getting pissed because he keeps running away from him.
I'm gonna fill up your goddamn hole. I can easily overpower you. And then he's just like, shit, what did I do? He turns around and Kino's sitting there like, this isn't what it looks like. It's like,
Oh
wait, I
shit!
can't talk
And
to
then
him.
and then didn't they show the other awkward moment for Keto's super strength immediately after that, because they're talking about the gorilla having like a ton of power, like literally his fist
Mhm.
hit with like a ton of weight behind it. You know what I mean? Like getting hit
I
with a
agree.
weight.
He should have had his scales out during those scenes.
Yeah,
Like them
it's
hiding it for that long kind of
yeah.
does hurt that a little bit.
Does
Yeah.
it really just does? It's so hard because you're just looking at me like, okay, so this character's just stupidly strong to be stupidly strong.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
I think it was just like the hidden pangolin, which even if no one was gonna pick, that's such a rare fucking
Yeah.
animal that
Yeah,
no one ever talks
exactly.
about. I
No.
forgot about it until it was brought up in this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like it was such a weird.
it didn't need to be
yeah,
that secretive.
Yeah, it's like what I do like that they take. They do the concept of like, what if you take these smaller animals and make them the same
Big,
size?
and you like actually put it in a like what would actually be the best combination with a human? That's what I think is really fucking cool. And honestly, pangolin, if you could grow and manipulate your scales based off your size, good fucking pick.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Oh yeah,
fucking
very
pick.
good, very good. Yes.
It's like it's
know,
the
they-
better armadillo. It's like, yeah, you know what? And I fucking
You're right.
love how the girl who is in control of pangolin is like, you all suck
Totally.
because you're gimmick fighters. That's your whole thing. Cheetah's fast, Tiger is fast and strong, and only has one move. He has two moves. Tiger has two moves. Pangolin doesn't need a gimmick. He's just incredibly defensive and offensive at the same time. And I like that because her clan also owns Leo, who is just incredibly strong regardless of what he's in.
Yeah.
Which is fucking
Yeah,
cool.
he's
Because then
not-
you
he's
have
an
the
unfit
divide
fighter.
of like gimmicks and non-gimmicks. Who fights with a gimmick and who doesn't fight with a gimmick. And Tiger actually has no possibility to beat Leo because he's a gimmick. And
Yeah.
Leo would just beat him.
He's literally a one trick. He's literally,
Yeah.
as a pun, a one trick pony. You know, like, I mean,
She's
yeah,
the
he's
same way.
literally
They're
it.
both all really weak. And then, again, you have the person who pretty much was doing all these, Hitomi, is just really generally strong and doesn't
Yeah.
have much of a weakness. And that's why it's like his big Shido. Shido's big, like, they say this is Shido's Destroy Royale. Because he made, like, all the reptiles and he's been doing all the guys. But the one he didn't make was Ratal. And that was the one thing I
mean,
wasn't a big fan of.
I guess that was kind of cool, but it was just, it was kind of weird
It
too,
makes
because it's like,
the connection with
you
Shido makes
know, like,
sense.
it makes
but-
sense with the connection with Shido. Yes, that does make sense a lot better now. But it's just
But
like
why?
her place just felt so weird. It made her place feel so strange after that.
How
though.
did she appear?
Yeah, like it made
Did
her place
somebody fuck?
just felt so awkward now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like in the tournament, it's like, okay, but she's not a hybrid. She's a natural being. So why is she here then? It's like she has literally no
Because
right
she
to
has
be
all
there.
the appearances of a hybrid.
It's like, but she literally has no right to be there now. So it's like,
Well, no one else but Shido knows that, and Ratal.
yeah, I know.
And
But
this
it's like,
this was all. Okay, so one thing I gotta say about this, we called it grim and dark in the first time. I believe we're actually wrong. I'm gonna retract at least my side of that. It's not grim or dark. It's cold. Berserk is dark. This is a lot more towards cold. And there's a couple moments that I really love about that towards the end, in particular, that make me fucking love it.
okay.
But I don't know if we should go into those yet.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't jump into the very end yet.
Because it's the whole turn and then the second turn that comes in the last couple panels. Is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So
Yeah. So
fuck.
you know, it's like so I didn't really like Keto. I mean, I thought he was a fine villain, especially like his backstory. It was a great backstory. They do really good things.
Where was an
made-
abusive
it
father
ex-
who is like, no, you're the
Yeah,
fucking
abusive
reason mother died.
father, You know, his mother abandoned him. You know, all that tied together. His father turns around and starts snapping, breaks the tree. That he was so demented as a child that he literally thought the tree was his mother. So he then kills his father.
With a baseball bat, a thing made of wood.
Yeah,
I find
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I know, which was kind of funny in an ironic way. Yeah, but it was like And he does all this. It's like, huh? It's like it's crazy. It's like it was well done. It was perfect. They introduced it at the right time. Like when he snapped after she kicked him into a tree because he was like, "Ball, you can't hurt me." She just kicks him into a bunch of trees. And once he realizes what he just did, because he looked at it as him destroying the trees, not her,
It broke his own morality, and he's like, "Oh, I have nothing."
snapped. Yeah, that was great. He just snapped.
It was such a good solution of like, all right, I'm just gonna kick it then, and just ignore you and deal with Tiger, and then it's like, nope, he's pissed. I love the last moment when he's looking at Ratel and he's like, "Mom," and she smiles back at him before she rips a hole through his head. Oh, it's so good. I love that so much. A lot of the killing blows are so fucking good, and I do love the I didn't mention it before, but I do really love actually the phrase of killing bites, of the one with the sharpest fangs wins, thus therefore killing bites. I really do like that, and I really do like how they, even it feels like they, because did you read like the last page where they were talking about killing bites?
Yeah.
It's like they were even coming up with like what exactly killing bites was and what she meant by that, and they changed it like in 2 different times at the end of like people have their own different interpretations of killing bites, and Ratel's is who is mentally the strongest, Ratel's and Nemoto's kind of are pretty similar. But Ills in the beginning, it's still just, no, whoever has the best bite wins. Therefore, killing bites, because that's the intent, so I do like that line a lot.
Yeah, it was a cool way of like them playing with their own words. You know, like I'll give them that. I mean, it was nice. You know, it's like, I don't know, again, it's like 95% of it I love and 5% of it off-put me. It's little things, it's weird things. I understand that. It still turns me off. You know what I mean? Like the snake thing, I didn't even mind the snake thing. You know,
it was actually, it was
fine.
They kind of made it make a bit more sense when they said he's from like the shittiest of the groups that just runs around kidnapping women and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, okay, that makes him make a bit more sense than none.
Okay, because it's like, it made more sense than him just being.
He's from a nothing nobody gang, and that's why. And he just happened to have a good role on his hybrid.
Yeah,
and that's why he's there.
You know, and it's like he tied it. You know, it was more like his personality became the dominant one rather than, you know what I mean, the animal becoming the dominant one. He had the dominant personality. It flipped it. You know, it's like, okay, I'm fine with that. I have no issues with that because that makes sense. You know, so it's like, okay, now I understand why he was so rapey. And it's like, now it's like I can hate him less. You know, I don't like him still. You know, it's like, I didn't like him. You're not supposed to like him. You know what I mean? But now I just don't think he's the worst fucking dog shit written.
I think I like him being in the story because I get Ratel's spin wake up and the line where she's sitting there, which looks great. I don't know what it is, but Claude things waking up with a spin, I always think looks amazing, and I'm glad I got to see that here. But like, you also get Ratel's line, which is so good, of like, you're having a nice dream, and then some snaky, fleshy thing starts poking you, and just it's so fucking good. It didn't even feel that out of place. Like, they naturally went into it, and it wasn't forced. However, they did, the one time it was kind of forced is when the beginning of the chapters, like they usually do at the beginning of the chapters, where they have the, shock grabber, which they even showed the audience, Nemoto's reaction to, of when Savette shows up. He's like, whoa, what the fuck did we miss? Like, all the dialogue with that was so good, and how she's constantly getting pissed off, like, this is killing bites. Stop fucking making this lewd. This is meant to be a death battle. Turn this shit off and go back to the fight.
I agreed with her, and it kind of annoyed me. It's like because it was right after freaking, you know what I mean? Like that was the issue. It just felt so bad because it was right after. You know what I mean? The snake, which I was like, I didn't the snake. I was like, I'm fine with it, and then this shows up, and it's like, no. And then 30 seconds later, or a chapter later, she's now completely immune to it. You know what I mean? And Tiger's completely immune to it. It's like,
Well, the
Okay, why
tiger.
wasn't she immune to this before?
I
She was in
think
pure fight mode
Tiger
like
was
she was
because he's
now.
too focused on the battle,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think
Oh, I
that's what happens to
understand.
Ratel as well. Because
But
she only really wakes up when she brings up Shido, and then she's like, "All right, I'm doing something. I can't really." It's funny. It's weird. It made me laugh when she's doing that because it's like to come with me, and it's like, and it's the contexts are super different. But she's like, "Nope, not with you," and she pushes her away. She's like, "What the fuck?" At this point, really, you go 99% of the way, but you're not doing the last percent. The fuck I say?
cock tease.
Oh, and that didn't actually throw me off, and that was what led into her backstory too.
Yeah, it led to her backstory. It's like again,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of a hit and miss thing for me. It's like it wasn't bad, but I don't know. I was like, it felt like it brought up more questions and really filled it in for gaps. You know, like
It made Cheetah fucking hilarious though for Maeve during the final part.
Oh, it did.
Because she
It
shows,
made him really.
because she's knocked out, and Savette's like, "God damn it, you horny bitch! Fucking wake up, Jesus Christ!" And then it's like, I always thought she was into her brother more than, didn't peg her as a lesbian. I just love how Savette's just sitting there like, I didn't actually think she would go this hard for that. Yeah, whatever. And then you get Tiger showing up, and it happens to her again. She's like, "No, I can't. Tiger's here. Oh God, Oni-chan." Ah. She's just sitting there dying. It's fucking hilarious. She's actually useless for the rest of the show until the last minute because of that.
Yeah, until the very end. Yeah. Yeah.
Granted, she wouldn't have contributed much to Penguin anyways.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, you see, the funny one that showed up, the one I did like that showed up with her was the rabbit one.
Yep.
Was when the rabbit showed up. You know, and she was like, "Oh, okay, it's super delicious." She's like, "What the hell's going on? It's super delicious. It shouldn't have any effect." Like, well, this is a rabbit. They're the horniest animals, and they can run it all day. And I started clapping. That panel made me clap. I was like, "That's why I have problems with anything that has."
Yeah,
supply
that's
on
what
it."
I've always been saying, is Reddit is a sex thing.
I know it's still annoying. It was an Xbox generated gamer tag. God damn it! Microsoft gave me this name. Microsoft did this to me.
You have an excuse now for your lewd name. There you go.
It's been my reasoning behind it since the beginning.
I fucking love when Rabbit shows up, and she's just like, "Guys, hurry! Penguin's, he's coming here! Shido's coming here! I mean, Kito's coming here! He's gonna kill us all!" Oh, and then Savette's just looking down at her like, "What the fuck?"
What the hell?
And goes to stop it. Ah, bad place! Just runs away, and then eventually gets caught in a pitfall. It's just like, oh, come the fuck on. I'm gonna get knocked out by a rabbit, aren't I? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like how they
that
do
was
the
good.
the fights are all great. Even the things that
the
aren't
fights are
supposed to be
good.
fights end up being great fights. It's so fucking.
Yeah.
ah.
No, the fights are good. Yeah, the fights are well done. The fights are the best part of the show. Like the fights are excellent.
Mhm.
You know, they you know, it's like, you know, most of them are a little too short for my taste, but you know, the pangolin fight did give us that long fight, and it was a good long draw.
That was like 10 or so, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
5
yeah.
or 6.
Oh yeah, it was
Easy.
like 5 or 6 chapters. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was long as shit. You know,
It
that's
was,
why I'm
it's
like,
almost like 25% of the fucking run too. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty big.
Mhm. Oh yeah, no, it's very big. Yeah, no, it has some size to it. Yeah.
Oh, and like the battle damage that happens to the characters is such
Mm-hmm.
a good way to go about your show. Like, even if they can get the limb back, like even if they can just be stitched back together or advanced medicine or what have you, it still makes it so they can't just put the arm back on during the fight. You know?
Yeah.
Like once Tiger lost his arm, he lost his arm.
Yeah, it
He
was
can
just
no
gone.
longer do his gimmick move, but he's still gonna try to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
He's gonna ram his goddamn head against that wall. Like he will, goddamn it. You don't give no fuck.
Like when Ratal lost her arm, and that's a good way to do body damage and still have them do something, is you throw your arm. I fucking They, again, though, you get a ton. It felt, at the very last second, you got a ton of, like, yo, man! Yo, do you see honey badgers? Fucking honey badgers, bro! Get over here so I can sell you this honey badger manga. Because it's like, the honey badger's sitting there bleeding, organs dripping out, and still going after something, and it's like, oh my god. You're going so far here. The dude looked up honey badger. He's like, "This is the sickest fucking animal in the entire world." I love honey badgers so goddamn much. Which is weird because the next character is a beagle, and it's like, how is the puppy dog going to become the greatest?
We will. Well, I mean, you know what? I mean, really, were you thinking like? When it first started off, honey, when the dude first told you, you were like, yeah, no, I could definitely see a honey badger being the most terrifying thing.
Okay, well, look, I know for a fact Ratel is with the beagle at some point, because obviously, but...
Yeah, I'm not excited about seeing her again.
See, that's probably the biggest difference. I was completely fine with Ratel, and I liked her.
Yeah, I did not like her. It's like, so it's like, yeah, it's just my thing on her. I just did not like her. Like, nothing against them. I think, like, I like all the other characters. I do, actually. I like all the other ones. I just don't like her. Like, and I just, you know, that's just the reality of it. But, you know, to each their own. But, yeah. So, it's going to be a little exciting because I won't have to deal with her every chapter. And it's like, because she also reminds me of Naruto because she says her goddamn catchphrase too fucking much. Like,
oh, what? Those killing bites?
Every fight. You know, the strongest fangs.
See,
you know, like,
I like that on like, this time around because it's not like believe
Naruto.
It.
Same thing as Naruto, except saying believe it. She's like the strongest fangs.
I like it because she's trying to tell her opponent what the fuck it is they're supposed to be doing. Almost every time. That's what I like about it. That's why.
It's like, I don't know. Like, after I hear a catchphrase 3 times, it's like, okay, you don't need to keep telling me your catchphrase. Like, you don't need to tell me your catchphrase 8 goddamn times. Like, you don't. I don't need to hear it. And she's gonna say it again when she sees the beagle. You know, the strongest fangs win. It's like, I'm a dog.
Puppy teeth. Rawr.
Rawr. Don't worry though, I've already killed 3 bears. You know, several other giant species. It's fine. But you don't actually have really fangs.
Dude, you say giant species. There's something. You got some stuff coming. I had to in my spoiler look. I saw some shit. I genuinely saw some shit. So yeah, I feel like I should remind you after that snake. Remember, get the snake scene fresh in your mind, and then remember, this was published by Amazon.
I know. Oh, I know. I don't understand.
Not wait.
I just don't understand. How now you see, maybe somehow it slipped through for running, and then executive saw it, and I can understand why they didn't continue it. I just don't understand how I got to that point.
Well, I think they bought the streaming rights to it, is what it is. But still.
Maybe. But still, to think that they would associate their name with anything like that. That's just...
Because even though, like, the snake scene isn't actually too out of place. Like, there's a slight argument for the Savette stuff. There's an argument for the Savette stuff coming in a bit out of place.
Yeah.
The snake stuff actually works because it flows into it, and it's pointed out for a very long time that he's super into that. And he wants that, and he's been going for it the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
So you understand that. You know, so it's like
and then you get a brief snake anatomy lesson, and then you don't, for the people who are worried about the gore, you don't get to see a human dick cut off, you see 2 snake dicks, so it's a bit easier for some guys.
Yeah. No, it's like, I don't mind that, and that was done good enough, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That was done fine. You know,
and then he gets it super hard, too. It's not the thing that...
I like when he came back. I like when he came back, too. I thought that was really cool, you know, and then she's like, oh, I guess my things work on him, and he's so horny, he literally forgot what pain is.
Yeah. And he's sitting there, he's like, oh, I'm going to screw that Ratel so good. You don't have a lower half. Your dicks on your lower half were cut off. What do you think you're gonna do?
Yeah, she's just like so confused right now. Like,
it's like, I'm more sorry for you than anything.
Yeah, that was the good thing about Corvette. It's like she didn't do anything. She was just so confused the whole time. She was like, I don't know how to process any of this.
She went in. She thought she went in with a game plan, and it turned out she had no plan. It's like,
yeah,
shit.
Her whole plan just suddenly went a different direction. And she's just like, I don't even know how to respond to literally any of this, like the whole time. You know, and even the buddy, like by the time the buddy came up, she was just so fucking pissed. She's like, I'm fucking sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit happening. I'm gonna kill anything.
And then you see that again with Cheetah, with this buddy again, where the Cheetah's like, you have no idea how pissed I am. I need to get you done quick so Tiger can get his arm stitched back on. So we don't have much fucking time.
She'll run away. She's like, don't you fucking run away, goddammit. I ain't got time for this shit.
It's so...
Yeah,
okay.
no.
The fucking... So two of the... I'm going to go through this real quick before... Sleeping Mortal, Claw, Spin, Wake Up. Kiddo versus Croc. Croc versus Hippo. Hippo realizes Croc meant what he said. Hit most of the things I wanted. Cheetah versus Ratel. Brute Savette. Aphrodisiac. Brute... Cleopatra. Oh yeah, so the show Cleopatra. One thing I want to say. Cleopatra was actually kind of ugly.
Yeah.
They showed a 12 out of 10 in that picture.
Yeah, but that's how she's always personified, though.
I know, but like...
You know, it's like they always do that because she was a symbol of sex back in the day. Even if she wasn't physically attractive, she was still a symbol of it. So they still
she did use a ton of aphrodisiacs. I don't know if it was Savette, but she did use a ton of aphrodisiacs. And then she would dress up in like the most. She had an outfit designed to accentuate all of her fucking best parts because she was like a 4 or a 3 if you looked at her. But with the aphrodisiac. And notice, it's always a 4 in general. So she has a different skin color, she's exotic, she has all these things put on. You've been marching through God knows what for the past, God knows how long, 5 years, 6 years, on your crusade. And you show up and all of a sudden with your army, and all of a sudden this queen's like, yo, you're like,
wanna fuck?
You know what, you are the most beautiful woman in the world right now.
No, it's like my standards have disappeared. Yes. Yes.
You could be a rock with a hole in it at this point, and honestly, as long as it's warm, like
as long as I moisten up the hole a little bit, I'll be fine with it.
It's like that may be offensive to some hardcore Cleopatra fans, but she wasn't actually that attractive. She just knew how to work with what she had. So it's kind of funny to see like she's shown off as a 12 in that Brute Cleopatra.
What? That's always how she's shown off in everything.
I know.
Ever shown. I've never seen someone show an ugly Cleopatra. You know, it's like, come on, you can do it, please, anytime. I have faith.
Tiger kills Gecko almost immediately when she's running away. Rabbit introduction. Rabbit v Gorilla. Yeah, we didn't talk about Gecko. Yeah. Gecko wasn't actually all that interesting.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. Gecko was kind of cool.
I liked your interaction with Cheetah. Where
I liked Gecko because Gecko was like a different side of like the killing bites. It's like she mixed like the human side of fighting with her power rather than just using her animal instinct. You know what I mean? Like she was more of like a brawler / martial artist, and she used her Gecko grip kind of to her advantage. But she wasn't like using it as a gimmick, you know. She was one of those non-gimmicky fighters.
I would actually argue that she is she is kind of a gimmick fighter because the moment her gimmick didn't work, she ran because she's like, I can't fight you, I'm gone.
Well, no, she got sent off to another zone. Her master sent her away. Her master ordered her to leave, and she had the necklace timer. That was the thing. That's the issue. It's like, you can't run from an area. Like they just can't leave. They have to stay there till they're given a command. That was the thing. Also, another thing is like at the end of it, when it's like Atome celebrating with the guy, it's like it made no sense. That's like they're acting like they had this deep connection. They made 2 moves the whole game. She told him where to go for the first one, and the second one was go help her friend. That was all they did together.
Well, no, Hitomi wanted to get into the fight, and that's why she's like, she thought she was just gonna sit on that hill, which is why she was actually happy that he moved him. She actually had no idea.
Oh, I know. I understand that. She had no idea for the second move. I'm saying he chose one move.
Well, he did three things. He chose not to move also.
And then he chose not to move her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, like, he made 2 moves. You know what I mean? Like, isn't like they had, like, this whole mental game where they're, like, you know, using signals and trying to read each other. No. It wasn't that deep. You know, it felt like they tried to make it deeper than it was. Their interactions were pretty shallow during that competition. You know what I mean? Like, at least that's what I felt. I felt like that was very shallow, and they tried to make it seem like it was a lot deeper, and it wasn't. Just to make the upcoming scenes more impactful. So I didn't like that, because I'm sitting there like, when that happened, I was like, it does not feel like this. This doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't feel right. I don't know.
She liked him because he was nice, for the most part, and he treated her like a human, I should say, which probably for her is a bit odd, because usually she's the one that gets told what to do, and this is the one situation where she's actually telling somebody else what to do, and because she was like tied to him, so she's the whole reason he was brought into it, and he did kind of like her, but okay, so my favorite part about that towards the end was like, he's not actually saying he's in love, because he's doing the Japanese thing of like, oh, well, I do really like you, but I don't want to say it right now, because we did kind of barely even meet, but I do like you, and I think you're out of my league, and then it leads into that. That's what I liked about that, was how she actually did kind of like him, and then because of Shido, because that's one of my favorite parts about it.
I don't know. Like, it just put a bad taste in my mouth. You know, I didn't like the feels. Like, I didn't like how she's sitting there crying the whole time. It's like, it just never felt like they had that deep of a connection.
I mean, there's only one panel of her crying.
Yeah, I know, but it creates the impression that she was crying for a while.
No, she liked him. I don't see how she didn't.
Yeah, but not that much. For such a cold-hearted, just a cold individual, like, I don't know. I feel like if she believed Shido told him she had to kill him, I felt like she would have been able to kill him.
She did it because, well, that's why she did it, though.
Being, like, mentally, like, without had to be a emotional wreck.
Well, you know then she would be a robot.
No, she wouldn't be a robot, but, you know what I mean? Without, like, sitting like, I did it, but I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know. It just felt like it was too much. I don't know. That's just how it felt to me. But it just kind of put a weird taste in my mouth, because it just didn't feel like they had that strong of a relationship. I mean, there is pretext to explain it. It just still didn't feel like they had that strong relationship, and with how she is about Shido, that she would just mentally believe that if he told her to do it, it was the right thing. And if she believed it's the right thing, she wouldn't be an emotional wreck about it.
Well, just because it's the right thing doesn't make you feel bad.
No, but it does allow you, you know, to help repress those feelings, or to oversight them, because you were doing the right thing. Denial's pretty strong still.
I don't know. I don't see that.
I don't know, but that just kind of put a weird taste in my mouth there. But then after that, we're done with Honey Badger, so I was super happy, regardless. So I had my happy ending after that.
Snake saves in air quotes, because Snake is probably dead anyways, because chameleons, they showed up.
Oh yeah, that's right, and he killed
chameleons
everybody.
would have killed him. Yeah,
it might have left already. We don't know.
I don't think so. The way that they talked about the chameleons is that they were already on the island from the beginning, and they were just there.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's why the camera crews kept disappearing and shit. Tiger's having trouble bringing down Radao. Since he's a gimmick fighter, Rabbit comes out next. Savette, Shido joins the fight, loses to Rabbit. Savette loses to Rabbit. She uses a penguin. Hippo gets a brief hero moment against Shido. Hitomi goes full power, and Barak story. Rattel kicks Pangolin in the tree line. Somebody loses an arm, gets gutted. Cheetah versus Rabbit. Yes. Leo with the takeover. Yeah, Leo in the end. When
Oh yeah, the whole takeover thing. Yeah.
how they set up Leo is still like the best fighter, even though he loses in the beginning. And how
Yeah.
it's completely just because that was his plan the whole time to get beat
Well,
up a
that
bit,
Yeah, well that was
so he could hang
that's what
back and
Tiger
have an
was explaining.
excuse.
That's what Tiger was explaining the whole time. Like,
Mhm.
you didn't beat Leo. Okay,
He just had the wrong idea of why.
yeah, Leo didn't.
He thought he
want to
did. He
kill
thought he was doing it as like a favor to Ratal, but in the end, ended up being he wanted to get knocked out so he could just sit back and be the strongest brute amongst the leaders.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
so fucking.
I think he
good.
was just more about like he was just sick of like the brutes, like the whole thing being secret, that nobody
Well,
knowing of him being the strongest.
He was being
You know what I
again
mean?
like he was doing it for a good. He thought what he was doing was for a good reason of like the brutes are stronger than the leaders, therefore we should have free will and not be controlled. However, by acting that way, he's still being controlled by Shido because that's what Shido wanted him to do, which is cool because it creates the cold thing. And then again, the granddaughter again trying to do a good thing, wanting to get her grandfather back into the light and get her away from all this dark shit, like get her away
Yeah.
from all the furries and get his mind back on like being happy and nice and stuff. And she actually only had good things in mind and making everything better and making everything a bit less violent. And then it ends up being she gets one of the colder stories of like, nope, everything sucks for you. No one's gonna help you. No one likes you anymore. It is like, oh
And you
no.
might and you might become lion sex slave.
Oh no,
Angel.
that's a guaranteed. There was literally a panel of him raping her.
Of him insinuating he was raping her.
No, he was starting to. And she was just I love that so much of the, yep, your grandfather had a heart attack. No, he didn't. There's clearly claw marks in a heart attack. What? No, this is bullshit. This looks like a heart attack to everybody else in this room. And there's a dead body right over there. Strange coincidence. Just like, I love when Leo is threatening that hybrid that's in the room with them.
Yeah.
The hybrid that was the dude, and he just again, it looks so good because he expands just his top part because he doesn't want to fuck up his pants. So only his top part is transformed, and he's so fucking big, and she's just like, yeah, alright, I'm not gonna fight. Yeah.
Oh, I ain't doing a damn thing.
I'm gonna lose this. It's so good. Fucking Leo is great. I can't wait to see him in the see what if they do anything with him later on.
See, Leo reminds me a lot of one of our other favorite villains.
Mhm.
Ahsoka. Reminds me a lot of him, kind of in the way he acts. You know, like I don't think he has as much personality as Ahsoka, but he's still pretty
Yeah.
good. He still remies me of him.
He's not on
You know?
screen enough, but what he sees, yeah.
Yeah, he's not quite has as much screen time as him, but he does remind me a lot of him.
Because again, he
Yeah,
did
with the-
set up Bear to walk into Ratel and die, and get knocked out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
he also sitting there like, you know, he would tell Rin because he was like, yeah, you know what, this could be interesting in the future. It's like it'd be a
Mhm.
waste to kill her now, you know. And he's like,
well, the reason he lets Ratel win
I
is
al-
because
well, we don't know
So
if
he
that
can
was
get-
if he was already planning that yet. We don't know that was already planned. You know what I mean? Like we don't know how far they set this up.
I don't know because there was somebody talking. I remember about him getting knocked out so close to Destroy Royale, and how absurd it was. I remember there was one scene. I think in like before 12, actually. So it was like in 11 in the first set we read. I think because I remember reading that. Like, it's like in the party or something when they're going to talk to him, and it's like it might have been Tiger. I don't know. It was somebody talking about Leo in that scene. I think.
I don't remember, but
Mhm.
so it's like either way, it's like yeah, I don't know, but Kirk, your neck. So let me see. What else did I really talk about? Like, but that whole corporate takeover, that was kind of really funny. Like, you realize, like, what is Chameleon doing there? Like, I've been caught. like, what did you think was gonna happen? You see the winner, and then suddenly you turn off the power. What do you think's gonna happen suddenly if Chameleon, an unregistered unit there, is the champion? Explain it to me,
Well, no,
please.
but the plan was for them to kill all of them, everyone else, and disappear. And then it's like, well, no one won now.
Yeah.
Because everyone's dead. What happened? I don't know. That was the plan.
Yeah.
So if they didn't win, they could still be like, well, no one else won either.
Nobody
Which is also
gets the power.
Mm-hmm. No one. The rule doesn't change as it is.
Yeah.
Which again, the whole ruling. One of the big rulings was that. Well, the big point of it was who gets control, air quotes, but in reality, I love the turnaround though, where it's like, so you won. Well, let's see. Well, since you won't actually have the supplies and materials and organization capabilities to actually take over and run this organization, you're going to turn it back to us, right? He's like, yeah, of course. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought. What the fuck do you think? Did you think I was serious? He's like, Just like, oh, you're actually going to do the power trip now. Well, Leo can deal with this. Oh, Leo's not. Oh, shit.
Oh, Leo's with him. Oh, this has gone a direction I did not want to see. Damn.
So I'm thinking through. I think we talked about pretty much everything. The fights are still great. The quality of the artwork is still fantastic.
Oh,
pretty much throughout.
Mm-hmm.
One of my big points was the ending, but Jordan kind of dethroned that a bit. So now I don't really have anything to talk about that. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Because the artwork and the everything from last time still holds over. Didn't change much. Certainly didn't lower. So I think we should just go into final opinions already. Ratings stuff.
Okay.
You can leave.
All right, my final opinion, show again, really good. I said earlier, 95% of the time, it's really good. And for me, the problem is just when that 5% comes up, now it may be small things to a lot of people, but I have a very short attention span. So a very small thing can completely disassociate from something and make it really hard to get back into it. And it gives me this feeling a lot. And it is painful for me. It is, because then I had to try and get myself back into it. And I'm kind of like always in the bad state of mind because the awkward thing just happened. So it's always more of an uphill climb. But it's still really good. I mean, I'm going to keep it at a 7. It did get better, but it just loses me as much as it grabs me, and it's so fucking annoying. It's so goddamn annoying. I'm marking it down. I'm marking it even just because of that concept.
I really like this. Is probably one of my favorite things. The ending was great for me. I love the cold vibe it had throughout. The fights were great. The artwork's great. The character designs. Every now and again when I look at it, like I look at Tiger up here a bit, his paw does kind of look a little goofy. But then I look at it again and it's like, but is the character being a bit goofy bad? It's like, no, not really. So like the designs work, the characters work, everything just works for me, and it has a really nice flow to it that when you get into it, it's really easy just to continue going straight through. Like you can read almost all these in one going if it's fitting you. I'm a bit torn because I want to give it one of my higher ratings, but I also don't know where it's. I'm actually going to go with that because the writers specifically say we're stopping, we're taking a break, and we're going to look at this and look at what it is and look at what we have going for us and look at how we're doing. And they're actually they took a bit to look back at the show, at their work. I'm probably going to give this a 9 because it's way above average. I'm actually disappointed that it was appropriate to call it shallow for the first For the first 11 we did, was actually kind of appropriate. But as it got in, it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not ocean deep, but it certainly isn't kiddie pool level. It's, to call it shallow is actually a bit of a shame. Now, I don't know where the anime is. I mean, that's the question.
It's following the same storyline. It can still follow the same storyline.
Yeah, but like, how... I'm looking at this and I'm like, it would be really hard to ruin this. But then I look at it again, it's like, maybe if they spent way too long at the beginning, that could kind of ruin it. Like, this one gets through the school part really quick.
Yeah, and that could be 3-4 episodes.
Yeah, and that could really impact it if it's not like 2, which it should be.
Yeah.
It should be really, really fast, and how long do they drag on the talkie bits? Could be annoying.
Yeah.
It might actually be like 3 episodes. I think 3 episodes would be the limit where I'd say this is starting to get too much, and 4 would probably be like, okay, this is kind of annoying. I could see it being like 4, maybe 5 if it was really bad. Of the talkie bits in the beginning, because remember all the parts where they're like, oh, but you don't know anything, and you're an idiot, and you're weak, and what are you doing here? But we need your help, and it's just like, that could go on for way too long.
That
do they extend the college scene? Like,
no, they definitely gonna extend the college scene. I mean, what was that? That was 1 page.
That was like 2 or 3. Yeah, it was very short.
You know what I mean? Like that had to at least be 15 minutes, 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes. Come on now.
And that's where I'm kind of worried. But then it's like, how far did they go during the fights? Because are they doing the snake bit? I'm curious to see if they do the snake bit. Because I don't think they're gonna go all the way with the snake bit, but maybe they did. Maybe they did. I can already have a feeling, too, that the gore is kind of going to be cut down. Because this is super gory. I have a feeling it's going to get the anime shit where it gets blacked out or grayed out when it hits sites, you know? When it gets the public release. That's one thing that always annoys me. Like, in JoJo in particular is really annoying. Because there's very little gore ever, and they try to use it in a way that, like, looks good, and when they do it, it gets blacked out. It's like, oh, well, that's a shame. But, that's more of an anime thing. So I'm kind of actually thinking that the anime might actually be worse than this because they're going to dick around too much. However, if they get a nice flow going and the vast majority of the episodes aren't... There's not, like, if the beginning part's a small minority, it's fine. But if it becomes... arguable that it's about 50-50, the anime is super gonna get hurt, I feel. I don't think the anime is gonna hold up.
Okay.
It's a weird thing. It's one of those moments where I was like,
I could definitely see those arguments, you know, like the anime, like, it's either gonna be really similar or completely different. Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be either identical or extremely different. And since Amazon does make it, I would imagine they had to go down the really censored line. You know what I mean? Like, really, like, you know?
So, now that we're done with...
It is a scary thing, and I can understand where you're coming from in that completely.
Because I really like this. And it's like, now I'm worried if the anime is gonna... I was super excited to watch the anime, but then I saw how far it went, and I was like, they could really drag out some of the bad scenes. And if they Shippuden, this is gonna suck.
They can really drag on to stuff.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I could do this in 8 episodes super easy. Then I'm like, oh yeah, it's 12 or like 15. It's like 13 or something. It's like, oh no. I don't know. I don't know if they're capable of doing 13 episodes. It's one of those things like, it's like the argument Land Lustrous. Do they have enough to continue doing it? And it's like, I can kind of see that. But this is like, do you have enough to make this 13 episodes? Because I would say this is more 8-ish would probably be appropriate. And that's 8, 10-ish.
Yeah,
and that would be nice, but like 12, 13.
Or are you dragging on the fight?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's just a sense of priority. It just kind of makes you worry.
Something's going to get dragged out. And, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you have the decision now. Are we going to attempt to finish this off, or are we going to switch it off to your suggestion, or if you have one?
No, we can finish this off. That's fine.
All right. So, look up how much is left, because I think it's
26. I think it's up to 56.
It's 26. All right.
It should be like up to 56. I think so. We could just do till 56.
I don't know if it ends at 50. When's the last time it was put up?
Well, it's definitely not over. It is definitely still running. I can tell you. I mean, I can find out in a second.
Because
last time it was updated, and it also tells me how often it's usually updated if they stay consistent, but it's not always accurate. But let's see here. It was last updated 2 months ago. But does not say it's completed. It says it's still ongoing.
Okay.
So.
Maybe we should switch to...
It's supposed to get a new chapter every 9 days.
Wow. Okay.
But again, that's not accurate.
Yeah.
And this is also most likely other sites translating it. You know? So that's also another big part. All right. You want me to do mine then?
Yeah. We can always come back to this at another time.
Here's one we're going to go into knowing kind of how it goes. Dragon Dogma's manga.
What?
There's a Dragon Dogma manga. Yup.
That's...
Nah, not feeling that?
No.
You're not feeling that?
No, we can do it. No, I'm down for it. Okay. But, like... This is either going to be...
some personality. The pawns have personalities. The character has personality. It's not going to be the silent hero. No. I read 2 chapters to make sure. Like,
I'm thinking, like, this could be really bad.
I went 2 chapters in to make sure. It's 13 episodes total. I don't count the special. I start at 1. So it's 13 chapters. It's called Dragon's Dogma.
Okay, so it's super quick.
Yeah, it's literally just a 1-week thing.
Yeah.
It's just going to breeze through it.
But I'm listening to the words Dragon Dogma manga. It's like, oh no.
Trust me, I saw it too, and I was like, wait 1 minute, like what the fuck?
Because I'm thinking about like all the plot elements of the dragon and the Arisen and.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how they do it. I'm really curious to see how they try and translate this over, especially in the 13 chapters.
Ah, man, I can see this being like a 3 to 7 range.
I am curious. I am really curious to see how they do this.
And then we're going to do the Beautiful Joe manga, which is horrendous. And it's going to be into... No. Yes, it's actually really bad. Or the anime. The anime. No, I think they're both the same. Beautiful Joe has really bad peripheral content.
I've never even played the games, let alone followed it.
Well, the game's the best part, and it's not even that great anymore, so...
Oh, no, the game did not age well, yeah. But
so, it's not that great.
They do the silent heroes, or they do with the emotionless pawns who say, like, 8 things. Like, I'm like, there's no way,
Master,
right? Like,
a harpy! Harpies are weak to fire, Master!
I mean, they do throw some of that out there in the first 2 chapters still. But it's not as bad. It's not nearly as bad.
Be wary when you travel as knight. You should always carry a lantern.
I like
you should keep your oil in your lantern stocked up, Master.
Like, yes, I need oil in here. Extra oil for in case those times I walk into water with my lantern on because I'm too lazy to turn it off.
Yeah. That's how I turn off my lantern. Just throw water at the ground. I don't need to fucking turn that button. Menus fucking suck. God, that's such a weird pick. You know, it did get an MMO. Dragon's Dogma did get an MMO.
Did it get a full MMO?
It did. It was a Korean released MMO, or Japanese or Korean released. It was not a US release. Very unfortunate. I actually played decently well. It was a decent adaptation, apparently. Did not get ported. It was also supposed to get rumored a second game. But that kind of fell into shadows after a while. When a couple people left. And it wasn't scrubbed. But it's still like, this probably isn't happening for a while, if even. It's kind of a shame, because out of all the products that Capcom released, I guess DMC would be their best now. No, Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World and Devil May Cry, probably.
Yeah. But those were the two. But for a really, really, really long time for me, Dragon's Dogma was like the only good thing they put out.
It was, but it was a weird game because it's like it was a weird take on an RPG. The combat was weird. The classes were weird. They were good, but they were very different. You know what I mean? So
I saw a video years after I played the game. That was Star's video, actually, of Dragon's Dogma, basically Dragon's Dogma. And in that video, he compares it to a roller coaster ride. Like, every monster is a roller coaster. And the wait to get to the monster is the line. And it's like, you see it in the distance, you're like, I want to ride that. Because that's kind of how it is. Like, I want to go there and ride that line, ride that ride. And you get there, and you ride the ride, and it's over. It's like, oh, I want to go ride another one. And you go find another ride to ride, you know? I think that's a pretty fair...
It is. It's a weird way of putting it, but it is fair. And also, in another aspect, it's very fair, because a lot of the fights is very up and down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You climbing it up, you getting knocked down, you climbing it back up, you know, you getting pissed off, you're like, stop fucking knocking me down. You're fucking on the ultra, like, stop getting horny at my pawn. Stop it. Stop it. I'm trying to kill you.
Dude, I always ran a full female team. I never had an issue with that. It was always...
Oh, no, it's like half the time he's like chasing them and I'm trying to jump on his back. I'm like, stop running away. Because it would never just target one. It would always keep switching targets. And every time I'm about to jump on it, it just run past me. I'm like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you so much.
There was so much in that game that you could do, too. Like, there's so much that just was difficult to use of how you could use your shield pawn, jump up on your shield pawn, and he would catapult you upwards onto a griffin or something. Or a higher ledge.
Like flying, higher ledge or flying enemies.
Or take down harpies. There's a lot of uses for it. It's just, I never used it because I always played Archer.
Like a lot of the enemies too. It was a really cool concept because a lot of the enemies flew at around a height. Yeah. I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was intentionally programmed, but they flew at just about the right height for that shield launch to get you up there. It was like, wow, that's really a cool thing. Problem with getting your pawn to fucking do it. That was the problem. That was the real issue. Getting your pawn to actually listen was the nightmare. But
most people, by the way, if you're thinking about playing that game, probably not if you have issues with NPCs repeating lines. So if you can handle Dynasty Warriors games, you can handle Dragon's Dogma.
I don't even know about that, dude. I think it might be worse.
I don't know. You hear a lot of the same lines in any Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah, but you see, you're usually just so mind-dumbed by it because you're too busy just killing blameless NPCs. Where you don't.
This time you're walking around looking at a landscape when you hear it.
Yeah, you look at the landscape. Maybe you kill a few
Master goblins roam this area. Better be careful.
You see, that's why I always preferred pawns that were leveled up in the DLC area. Because they didn't know any of that shit, so they didn't say anything. It's like they were a lot more quiet because they didn't have all the knowledge.
Master Basilisk, strike the tail! Cut the tail off the creature the Saurian. Cut the tail off the Saurian, and it is helpless. I remember so many of the fucking lines.
I know.
Strike the Nyx in its armor! Remove its armor and its eye is vulnerable!
Oh yeah, the armored Cyclops. Yes.
Then you have the golem, and it's like, strike the core! Strike the core! And it's like, you have a sword, and you're swinging at its foot. Stop fucking telling me to strike the core. I also have a staff that casts AoE magic. I cannot strike one part on it. That was an issue I fought recently. When I was playing the game again. I played on hard, so I completely dropped it. But I do intend to go back to it eventually. But it's just like fucking so many. I fought a golem for like 2 hours, and I was so done.
The fights are really long,
especially if you're on hard. Like that probably hurt a lot. But on normal, I felt like everything was pretty balanced. Starting on hard was a stupid idea, and you should only do this if you played the game multiple times, but like,
and you know somebody with a leveled up pawn, because doing it without a leveled up pawn is a nightmare.
I mean, you could
Like, that
just
is-
hire one. It's not the
Well,
worst.
you gotta get a friend. Yeah, but it's like, if you're doing a legit fresh start, you don't have the currency. You know how expensive it is to hire a pawn 4 to 5 levels higher than you?
Most
Like,
people, though, who have played the game have like a
Really?
big enough pawn to like boost you there. You
Yeah,
could probably
no, that's
just
what I'm
friend
saying.
random people on. In all honesty, just find anyone who had the game, friend them, because on Xbox One
Yeah.
now you can friend somebody, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just added
Yeah.
to the list. So it's like
Mhm.
you could probably just look online, honestly, and find people to friend.
Yeah, you can just literally look at the top pawn list,
Oh yeah.
and add
yeah.
them,
Oh my
and then
God,
just
you
send them-
could.
and then just send them a message saying, "Hey, I want to use your pawn," and they'll add you, because you do need to be on both lists.
Really? That's how that
Yep.
works? Okay.
You do. Yep. Because I did that with one of them, and the pawn
Mm.
wouldn't pop up until they accepted it.
Ah.
You know. So I was like, yeah. But yeah, so you have to actually be on both lists. You can't just be on one. It's a shame, but you can't. So.
The
I
thing
did-
that was
they-
actually
they
neat about that
created
game,
that standard.
now that we're still talking about, but the thing that was actually neat about that game was but also really put me off was the
Mhm.
height and weight affecting character attributes.
You see, that was such a cool thing. Like, it was weird because like you needed to make that.
If you were
really-
taller, you didn't
Yeah.
get any pluses and you just lost stamina faster.
No, you did get a plus.
What was
Your
the plus?
non-sprint speed was faster.
Your non-sprint. Really?
Yep.
Hmm.
The sprint speed was a default set.
Yeah.
So sprint speed was just a set, but you walked around legitimate. You just legit walked faster because you had longer legs.
I see.
Is it a good increase? No.
No.
But it was something to it.
I mean,
I
maybe that
looked it up.
affected my.
I was so curious. I had to like look it up and then watch a video showing the difference. I was like, I don't know. It is. Huh. Like, oh. Look at that.
But it's the most unnotable change out of all of them, I'd
Oh,
say.
yeah. It's very unnotable. but
Because the weight one is super fucking obvious. You get like a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
amount of weight.
it's a huge amount of carry capacity. Oh, yeah. That was just so funny, though, like, when you realize that. Like, even you who's played the game for hundreds of hours didn't even realize that. It's like, yeah, I can understand that, because that is a strangely hidden thing.
Just like, huh. I mean, I guess, but I guess that affected something.
It helps you in the castle, I guess. But
I mean, sidestepping like a hippogriff or something, maybe, but like,
it helps you a lot.
again, most of the
when you
fights you're
have to
sprinting
walk.
away from the
When
huge
you have to
AoEs.
walk, like, at the
Yeah.
very, very end,
Mhm.
during those multiple cutscenes where you're forced to walk with the king.
Yeah.
You're forced to walk like, there we go. I could walk at him slightly faster to murder him. Like, there we go. Before he then calls me a heathen bastard and sends his holy army to smite me as the world literally splits open. It's like, ah.
The game was so ambitious. I couldn't believe at the time that Capcom actually put that out.
Yeah.
Like, it was so well above what I thought Capcom was capable of doing at that point. I was just like, wow.
Well, I think that was more about about it wasn't really about the publisher. It was more about just the studio being given free
Mhm.
reign. You know what I mean? Like, they
Yeah.
gave the studio free reign, and I think that's what that was more about. Either way, it was a master. It was a shame the game didn't get the upfront popularity it deserved.
Hmm.
And it kind of fell into that. It's really a shame because it kind of fell into the same group like where EDF is, Earth Defense Force, which Earth
Yeah.
Defense Force deserves to be there. Dragon Dogma does not. You know what I mean? Like, Dragon Dogma was a great game. Earth Defense Force, like, yeah, no, it's
Fucking
a fun game.
offensive, sir, to Earth Defense Force.
Oh, no. Earth Defense. I was about to say Earth Defense Force. EDF is a fun game, but it is a niche game. It clearly falls to a niche. Like, but a lot of people will not like it. It's like it's not being rude. It's being true, and they make the game around those people. I mean, look at the more recent one. It's old as shit now, but look at it. You know what I mean? Like,
Actually,
It
there's a
wasn't
new one on the
designed-
PS4.
Is there a new one
Yeah,
on the PS4?
yeah.
Oh shit, I
Yeah.
didn't know about that.
There is the newest one that was released on Steam though is pretty good though. It's like 3++ or something. I don't know.
But yeah, it's like I played the other one that came out on the 360 at the end because it was free with Humble Bundle, so I've been screwing around with that a little bit. You know, just the amount of fucking just fuck the spiders because the goddamn webs caused my computer to have a stroke, and it's like goddamn spider webs.
Well, that was their design process for the game. It's like, what is an acceptable level of webs? What is the acceptable level of monsters that can be on screen at one time? All right. What is the level that the machine will not crash when we put this on consoles? All right, do that. It's just like,
yeah,
I love the design mentality of just say, fuck frame rate, fuck smooth gameplay, bugs, bugs, more bugs, bigger console, more bugs.
Shit. More shit. Problem? You're running the destroyer class? You have dual rocket launchers? You need those frames. You need those goddamn frames, okay? You know how much longer my reloads become because of that loss of goddamn frames? It's like, God. It's like I'm sitting there like, okay, I spent like 5 seconds reloading this. It takes 20. Bear me. I don't want to play the Valkyrie. Only. God.
Hey, that's pretty much who I played only.
I know. The Valkyrie was fun. Like, the Valkyrie wasn't bad, but it's just like, I don't want to play her only because she's the only one that really saves frames besides the General Soldier, who I definitely didn't want to play with.
Yeah, yeah.
Cooler. Everyone else was so much cooler. The Valkyrie with her jetpacks, her energy weapons. You had the guys summon fucking tanks and battle mechs. Like, where you have the dude who just holds two of whatever.